Welcome back. This is a bright Wednesday morning, live from the east side, Enugu, Nigeria. I'm Nathalie Uku, and Ujoatumba, as always, is with me this morning. Oji,
good morning.
How are you doing? Good morning.
I'm great. Thank God it's Wednesday.
Yes, I mean, that's now your national anthem, isn't it? Or your set anthem. You know,
Yes, sir.
Now we have an AM show anthem where we say Happy Monday, Happy Tuesday,
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I mean, we should have added Woman Crush. It should be Woman Crush Wednesday, shouldn't it?
By the way, yeah. So, every woman out there, congratulations and God bless you in all you do. We recognize your strength and all that, right? So, and well, for we men, Wednesdays, just take out that day and just bring something very essential, very heartwarming to that woman that is very special to you. It could be a mother, sister, or your wife. It could be a girlfriend, by the way. So it's something you just have to do to embrace this womanhood, because they try, they try, no worry, they try.
I mean, it is finally September.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I'm starting to see stories concerning the Ember months, certain myths around it, people wondering if we're going to have more tragedies, more accidents. People are also talking about spiritual undertones as well, that it is Ember. But what I don't understand is, October, October does not match the Ember, but it still falls under the Ember. So shouldn't it be Ember? October, it it should be Tar. Just Tar, because October dilutes the whole Ember series.
Well, it doesn't still make anything. The main thing is that when you move into September, right, there's the Ember up until like December, by the way, the preparation for Christmas and all, and everything starts skyrocketing and all
That's
that.
right.
And all that's whatever concept people bring and attach to the Ember month and all. But it's still a month in a year, and we should just stick it like that and still live life the way.
Right.
Well, we almost make our lives very, very, very hard for us.
The best thing about the end of the year is, well, on the bright side, you get to spend time with family, you get to spend time with loved ones. On the downside, if you've not made good those New Year resolutions, well, I think you're way out of time. But it's still have at least 3 months to December.
There's still
Stop
time.
encouraging the procrastinators among us.
That's what I'm
Stop
saying.
encouraging them. There's no time.
Don't procrastinate. It's a bad thing too.
But if you've not even started your resolutions to this point, you are a bona fide procrastinator.
Well,
it is
that's
late.
true, but it's never over till it's over, by the way. So in case all that you have set out to achieve this year from January up until now, you've not started it, well, you could go halfway or just start it. Maybe before the 1st of January 2026, you could attain that height.
You are late. Let me just tell you the truth.
Well, I'm just trying to encourage you. I don't want to be an athlete right now. I'm just trying to encourage you. In case of incasity, you can still go back to that book, read through and, get those resolutions or somewhere, search through your minds and get it back and start doing that stuff you set out to do in 2025. It's not yet over till it's over. I'm encouraging you.
It has finished. It is over. It is late. It's too late for you. You can't catch up.
They have to take me out.
It's too late for you. I'm going to be on the other side of your shoulder telling you it's too late for you.
They have to take me out. It's fine. You
Yeah,
guys support Natalie, right? No, voila. And you guys still putting me back. Oh,
yes.
Man. Okay.
All right. We have a guest joining us this morning. We all know him as he comes on board with 3 names, and he's one of the only guests with that exception. Usually we try to have just 2 names as part of our house star, but when you hear Fyneface, and at the end you see another Fyneface, I mean, you have to give it all. So we have Dr. Fyneface, Dumnamene Fyneface. He's the Executive Director of Youth and Environmental Advocacy Centre, YEAC-NIGERIA. He's not joining us from Rivers this morning, but from Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Dr. Fyneface, great to have you join us from Bayelsa this morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Natalie and Oji. Nice to join you from the glory of all lands, here in Bayelsa State. And it's nice to be here. And, well, Happy New Day. I think I stand with Oji this morning. It is not over until it is over.
Thank God.
Because the body is on us, the men, more than the women. You know now, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so. But how is Bayelsa this morning? How is Bayelsa?
Yeah, Bayelsa is fine, but something very challenging happened yesterday. I believe you may have seen it in the news. Some students of, I think, a university here, one of the universities here, I think Amasoma, Niger Delta University or so, happened to, beat up their fellow student, almost blinded her, and then filmed her, and then put the video on the internet. And we've been working with some NGOs here and, security operatives to see how to apprehend, some of those people. So steps have been taken especially by this government organization called GRITS. So a lot of steps are being taken. So we condemn this kind of thing that students are doing. Atlanta is not like rampant in Bayelsa State that if you offend your fellow women or ladies or girls, they will just team up, look for a way to get you in a room, beat you up, naked you, film you, and put on the internet as a way of humiliating you for offending one of them. So I think we shouldn't be letting this kind of thing to happen. And those who are behind this particular act, I think they need to face the wrath of the law.
That's right. Okay. I mean, this is something that we should actually give more attention to. We should definitely find a way to get that in the bulletins. Thank you, Dr. Fyneface, for bringing that to the fore on the show this morning.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at headlines making the news. We'll start this morning with Daily Trust, and they call themselves a newspaper you can trust. Thugs disrupt Katsina elders meeting as RADA leaders stakeholders to Tinubu. President meets CPC bloc, says Nigeria not borrowing locally. PDP insists on convention despite new demands from Wike's camp. Experts predict Naira stability. CBN injects fresh $50 million. Super Eagles hit camp for World Cup qualifiers. Tinubu sets aside NTA appointments, recalls DG ED news. Obasanjo, Abdul Salami, Jonathan push for accessible healthcare. Fresh quake in Afghanistan as death toll rises to 1,400. On the Daily Times, PDP leaders talk tough, say no one can stop national convention. Court remands a 24-year-old over attempted murder arson. NCAA seeks EFCC's assistance in tackling aviation fraud. EPA's conviction reaffirms commitments to fight against terrorism, says CDS. FCTA moves to reclaim River Park estate lands, declares developers trespassers. On Vanguard, National Convention, PDP draws battle line with Wike's camp. We've met our revenue targets, no longer borrowing from domestic banks, according to Tinubu. Ward redelineation, INEC under fire as the Shekiri nation calls for probe. States have no excuse, I beg your pardon, not to pay beyond 70,000 naira minimum wages, according to NECA. States have no excuse not to pay beyond 70,000 naira minimum wage, according to NECA. Visa overstay, US-UK ramp-up warnings may ban violators. Ghana president fires Chief Justice over abuse of office. On the Punch, convention, Wike's camp demands ignite fresh PDP feud. Makide's camp, party governors, BOT reject FCT ministers' convention conditions. Damagum's removal orders. Customs intercept firearms, 4,841 ammunition in Southwest. 3 Lagos laborers found dead in makeshift apartments. Atiku slams federal government as bandits sack Kwara village. National Assembly cautions YEAC on planned CBT rollout. Tariff war respects state electricity regulators. Federal government warns discos. CNG price hits 450 naira /SCM as federal government withdraws subsidies. And lastly here, 2025 revenue targets met. No more borrowing, according to President Tinubu.
And starting from Nigerian News Direct, National Convention, no single individual can dictate for party. PDP challenges Wike Fayose orders. As party inaugurates convention committee, Bala Mohammed lambasts Wike's faction as faction of fools. Sanwo-Olu reaffirms commitment to women empowerment as 1,700 receive working tools. Funds for bandits flow under Ansar's watch. El Rufai accuses Kaduna government of stifling opposition. You can resign freely. No more compulsory 15-year service. Court tells security operatives. BPE to list 2 discos, Genco on NGX. Moving over to Daily Global. Tinubu, we have met revenue target. Nigeria won't borrow locally again. PDP governors warn Wike camp. Says party won't bow to impunity. Tariff war, NERC meets state electricity regulators, discos. Nigeria moves to lead Africa in cyber and digital diplomacy. OPH case cause of terrorists neutralized, assorted arms, ammunitions recovered. Police intercepts suspected gun runners, recovers GPMG over 1,295 rounds of ammunition. Damaged deck at Bini bound of Shagamu, Bini carriageway receiving urgent intervention. And lastly, on Daily Global, 13 Super Eagles players arrive camp for World Cup qualifiers. Moving over to The Nation. Tinubu, we have met 2025 revenue targets, gained stability. Government diversifying to agri, non-oil sector. Abbas Al-Makura lead Buhari's men to pledge support. Shetima to presidents, I won't take our bound for granted. Lagos to host electric power boat championship. I just seen varsity lecturers withdraw services over unpaid salaries. Nigeria braces for cyber digital diplomacy, says Stoga. Wike camp gives conditions for PDP convention to hold. Group insists on Congress's rule of law. We can't be intimidated, says Bala Mohammed. Moving over to this day and the last one right here, 2027. The Buhari organization backs Tinubu, declares loyalty. Tinubu says Nigeria has met revenue target for 2025, no more borrowing. What this means for the Nigeria. President dismisses pressure from Trump's tariffs, stresses commitment to economic stability, food security, justice. BPE to lease Genco to discos on stock market through IPO, keeps identity of companies involved confidential. Visa revocation, action meant to protect American citizens, says U.S. Embassy. Wike's team moves to wreck PDP convention, list conditions. Governors threaten showdown. Damagun National Convention sacrosanct, silence not act of cowardice. Bala Mohammed, if anyone wants to join factions of fools, we will allow him. And the last one right here, China hosts massive military parade, a message to America.
All right, thank you, Oji, for those headlines. Dr. Fyneface, it's great that you're here. Lots of headlines, both in economics and politics. Let's start from Daily Global, and of course, this headline too cascades to The Nation and other newspapers as well. Tinubu, we've met revenue targets. Nigeria won't borrow locally again. On The Nation, we're also seeing Tinubu saying the same thing, of course, also cascading here. We have met 2025 revenue targets, gained stability. Now, just some context around this proclamation by President Tinubu. We would recall that the Appropriation Act of 2025 projected a total revenue target of 18.32 trillion naira to fund a record 28.78 trillion naira budget. And of course, there's a breakdown there as well. Now, the president is saying that this has been met ahead of time in August. Dr. Fyneface, how confident are you in this remark by Mr. President?
The remark is a welcome development. I'm happy to hear this. But then, saying that the target has been met and Nigeria will no longer be borrowing locally. We not borrowed again locally. I think it's like over-ambitious because this is August. You are just, that just ended. You're making the comment first week of September. And you have just said the target is met. So I think that we need to monitor this, from now to by this time next year to see if it has really stabilized. And then we can begin to say that we are not going to borrow again locally, even if we try to say that Nigeria should put a moratorium on borrowing because the borrowing is too much, both local and international borrowing is too much. But I think it's a welcome development if this is happening. I also think what also contributed to this statement being made by Mr. President is the fact that oil production also increased significantly compared to the past due to the combined efforts of the private security and government security and the advocacy we are also doing for youth to stop vandalizing pipelines and allowing the oil to flow. I also think that This comment by Mr. President is welcoming, and let's see how that is translating into the lives of every Nigerian.
Speaking about what we can see on ground, now we're seeing, he also mentioned that the Naira has appreciated from over 1,900 Naira per dollar to about 1,450 Naira per dollar since he unified the foreign exchange windows last year. Now, some people can testify to the fact that the Naira has appreciated considerably in recent time when compared to the dollar. Dr. Fyneface, can you speak to this? Have you seen some kind of appreciation of the Naira while you're over there in Rivers or Bayelsa?
Yeah, I've seen some form of appreciation in the Naira. I must commend, the way it has happened. But there is nothing to celebrate about the appreciation we have seen in the Naira. Because when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power in 2023, the Naira to dollar was about 450 Naira to a dollar. Now we had it up to 1,008 and even 2,000 at some point. Then it reversed and returned to around 1,516, stabilizing there for quite some time. So if there is a little drop from 1,005 to 1,004 right now, it's nothing to celebrate about. He has to make Nigeria better than the way he met Nigeria. He has to make the dollar-Naira relationship to be better than how he met it. So until he returns the value of the Naira to the extent that we have less than 450 Naira to the dollar, then there is nothing to celebrate here, because we are only celebrating, what he was unable to fix. Let his economic team be able to reverse this backwards to the extent that we have less than 450 Naira to a dollar. Then we can think that Mr. President is saying something. So to me, there is nothing to celebrate here right now, because that little reduction we have, while it is significant in the financial world, it has not translated to the table of Nigerians, reducing the price of things, dropping inflation, and making life better for Nigerians. We are just reading on another headline now, how CNG has moved from 250 to 450. You can see the escalation of the price. And we are talking about, kind of celebrating the little drop in value of Naira, kind of increase in the value of Naira. And then you also saw how they dropped the price of LPG, liquefied natural gas, the cooking gas that we use. When a lot of people started going into buying gas cookers and all of that, some people even converted their generator to run on gas. The price of gas shot up very, very high, higher than the price of PMS today. So there is nothing to celebrate so far, because all of these have not translated into the lives of Nigerians and put food on the table of the average Nigerians.
Okay, well, checking the variables and indices, indicators in the markets, right? One would think that, when they make all these assertions on papers, that the reflection is there, people actually feeling these things. But, well, wait, hold your thoughts. I'll come with an elaborate question, but let's go for a quick breather and play this commercial. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Afia Morning Show. This blessed, lovely Wednesday morning right here. And we're still analyzing the newspapers and we're having conversations about our revenue and if our economy is being stabilized. Well, they keep telling us our story on the papers, but we get to ascertain literally if it's what it is, right? And we have Dumnamene, Fyneface, Dumnamene, and analyzing with us. Yeah. So, sir, I was asking you, right? In all this, you go to the markets, check the indicators, the indices, the variables, the reflection of what we see on our papers every other day. We're talking about our revenue targets being met and we're not going to have any local borrowing again. Is all these political statements just to, save face? And apparently the strategy this dispensation has been working with, to always come out and act like everything is good and okay, working fine. But the people right there in the streets, are they feeling the pulse, literally? What are they transcribing these words on papers? Are they really the reflection of what we see right there in the market, in the streets of Nigeria?
It is generally not, Audrey. It is not a reflection of what we have in the market. Nigeria is a place that when things go up, they hardly come back down. And the prices of things are generally up in this country. The inflation is high and things are expensive. Even food to eat is far from the reach of the ordinary person and ordinary Nigerian. Many Nigerians are still going to bed without food. And when government will have figure of this nature, to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I would say that it's just, a statement of renewed hope, to renew hope in the lives of Nigerians, for them to see that there is a tendency that things will be better. But those things that he's talking about, the tendency of them being better, we are not seeing them. They are not there. They are not reflecting the lives of Nigerians. That is why I think that what government has said now is still just paper talk, is something that is on paper. It's just like when they talk about, rebasing Nigeria, or what they call it. You see that being said, but it is not reflecting in the lives of Nigerians. So all of these things that Mr. President has said, we have not seen it reflect. We have not seen it in a situation whereby Nigerians can afford food better. Now we are talking about, festive season is far approaching. What can we say that people can be able to do to be able to afford food below the prices they are currently buying? These are the things that Nigerians want to see, and they want to see this reflect in their daily lives. Otherwise, all of these are just like paper talk, that nothing is coming on the ground for people to really feel the impact of the government. Because as we speak, if you go on the street now for a bus stops, you will see that Nigerians will tell you clearly that they are not seeing any benefit from all of this in that government is saying.
But I want to ask you. Let's be fair. Let's be fair, right? Regards or checking the indicators, are there pointers that maybe they are getting something right? We're not just being patient. That the renewed hope agenda, as you stated, the president's always trying to renew our hope that something's going to happen. That the good days are almost here. But from indicators, do you think that we are heading there, or, as you stated, all paper talks?
Yeah, definitely. I think there is hope that we are getting there, because getting to hear that revenue target is being met, I think is something that to an extent is worth celebrating. If it can really stabilize the fact that we are not going to borrow locally again, I think it's something that we can say is an improvement compared to what we normally previously have. And then that is also to say that the tax reform is working. The tax reform is working because the act that was signed, after passing by National Assembly, it means that it is now operational and it is working. I also saw just yesterday in a paper, the Nigerian Customs Service saying they have raised in about 3.6 trillion so far for the first 6 months, of the year 2025. So these are sources that is also helping. And I don't know, Oji, whether our borders have been opened. So if the borders are still shut, then I think that if steps are taken to open up the border, more things can be important, all of that, the revenue will also shut up, a bit, and then contribute to more resources in the pocket of Nigeria. So all of these revenue that are now being realized from all of these sources, making Nigeria self-sufficient, no borrowing anymore, if sustained, it will now gradually cascade into the lives of Nigerians, make inflation to go down, put food on the table, ease the hardship that Nigerians are currently passing through. Because Mr. President has even acknowledged that he's aware that Nigerians are passing through pains and challenges, that better days will be ahead. So let's believe that in a way, what he is saying now, that revenue targets has been met, sufficiency has been met in that area, let that sufficiency extend to Nigerians, so that Nigerians will also say that yes, the tax reforms and the various reforms for which we have been experiencing pain are now coming back to us gradually. Because the CNG, they talk about the compressed natural gas, for which the price is, increased now from 250 to 450. I believe strongly that some money is also going back to the government from there, because they have reduced the subsidy in the CNG at this point in time, and that money will also contribute to the revenue of government and what the government has in its pool, which they can use to better the lives of Nigerians. So they should make this to reflect in the lives of Nigerians, and then we can thank them for it.
All right, Nigerian News Direct, and also, of course, across our dailies this morning, a national convention, no single individual can dictate for party. PDP challenges YEAC, Fyneface, others. Now, I've seen YEAC apparently opposing this planned national convention, listing out conditions, 6 conditions for the party. Now, the PDP faction led by Chidi Bala Mohammed, he's part of leadership of the PDP, and he's saying that they're not going to take orders from FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. They're daring him, Fyneface and others. Wike is still hard on his conditions, saying that fresh congresses should be held in states in the southeast. I mean, a lot of drama surrounds the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, and he continues to oppose whatever the other part of the party wants to do, making PDP appear to be somewhat factionalized. Dr. Fyneface, what is your take on this controversy that has now become the planned November PDP convention?
Yeah, I think in a way, yes, Onwike now appears to be the political king of Nigerian politics, a political king of Nigerian politics that is playing to the left and playing to the right. He's playing to the right in the ruling party of the APC and playing to the left in the opposition party of the PDP. And it's in the center of it all, controlling left and controlling right, just as is reflected in the local government election just concluded in Rivers State, whereby you have the APC overnight becoming the majority in Rivers State, and then you have the PDP controlling 3 local government areas, including its own. So the FCT minister said he has invested so much in the PDP, and having invested so much, he has a say. So I think what they need to do is to see how they can sit down together, discuss and agree on a common ground before they go into the convention. Because as we speak, if they proceed with the convention without addressing those conditionalities that the FCT minister has put on ground, as one of the major funders of the PDP and who controls a lot of organs of the PDP, even outside Rivers State and some other states like the Federation, where he said he has been putting in the money to ensure the party floats, then they are going to go into the convention and come out in shambles and more crisis. Remember, his one leg is in the PDP, his one leg is in the APC. And having been serving in the APC government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if they do what he doesn't like, he is going to contribute to the destruction of the party in such a way that before the 2027 general election, the party is going to be totally decapitated. He has also mentioned that if they file a bid, that the party will be in shambles and everything will scatter. The remaining thing will go up. So I think they need to look at it and then see how they can address the issues so that in a way they can go into the convention and come out with some form of little thing remaining of the carcass of the PDP. Otherwise, if they proceed without addressing some of those concerns that people in his camp and himself have put out, then the PDP is going into deeper crisis than they got into before the 2023 election, ahead of the 2027 election.
Okay, but do you destroy what your investment, as you stated, that as Wike states also that he has invested a lot in the party? Would you destroy what you've invested? So one would actually also think that since PDP zoned to the south, that it could have doused all the tension, right? But help me solve this conundrum. Wike still takes in the PDP, and we all know, because he has stated his stance, who he's supporting for 2027, which is an opposition party and a member, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? But help us solve this conundrum. The problem that started all this was just the zoning to the south. Remember, in 2023, that's the advent of this quagmire in the PDP. But eventually, come 2027 elections, they've zoned the presidency to the south. Why is Wike still bent on doing what he's doing and the PDP allowing him scatter their party?
Yeah, Oji, I think the issue here is that Wike is on a vendetta mission. He knew quite well that the PDP refused to zone the party's ticket to the south in the 2023 general elections because they knew it was going to benefit him. They failed to do so, and he advised them to do so, and they failed to do so because they wanted it to benefit Atiku at the time. Now, he has said he is not running for 2027, for president in 2027. Now they have zoned it to the south because he is no longer running. So he's making sure that that advice they didn't take in 2023, not making him to contest the election to either become president or fail at the poll, that it happens in such a way that no other person benefits. And he's also trying to fight it in such a way that now that we have the party ticket zone to the south, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from the south, and he's already benefiting in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. So he believes that staying in the south with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where the devil you know is better than the angel you do not know, is better for him than supporting the ticket going to the south. So all of these put together are reasons why he is opposing this, and he's trying as much as he can to ensuring that neither Jonathan nor Peter Obi, that are viable candidates that can help him to, that can help the PDP to win the election and unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do not come into the election. So he is asserting his capacity, asserting his authority because he has been funding the party. Remember, they said that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So that is what you are having here. And he's bent on doing everything he can to frustrate the PDP ahead of the convention and after the convention ahead of 2027. So the battle line has not even been properly drawn. The main battle line will be fully drawn when the convention has come and gone, without those issues he has put out to be addressed before the convention, taken into consideration by members of his party. Remember, they are all frustrated. They can't suspend him. They can't take any action. Even if they are saying that they are going to take action, it will be difficult because they know that any action against him will further deepen the crisis in the PDP that he has refused to defect away from. And that is going to further cripple the PDP. And they are being very careful in handling this matter. But no matter how careful they are still going to incur some of the wrath of the FCT minister because he has been funding the party, supporting the party, and doing everything he can as a member of this political party.
But that begs the question still, why destroy your investment?
I mean, Oji, I think Dr. Fyneface has tried to address that question. I think another angle we can come from is, does the FCT minister, in your view, Dr. Fyneface, thrive in chaos?
You know, in politics, what is permanent is interest. When your interest is permanent in politics, you watch the political terrain, you do your political permutations, you do your calculations, you look at how to undo the next person, even if that person is very close to you, is your sibling from the same parents with you. You don't focus on how close the person is to you, but how your interest is being protected in all of the actions you are taking. That is how all of this happened. We have been told of how the FCT minister even became local government chairman in 2019. The party projected a candidate. While the party was projecting a candidate, he belonged to another kind of caucus of the party that was not projecting a candidate. What he did was to go and obtain a local government chairman election form for himself, and then created chaos that removed the main person that was supposed to go, and he came in to become chairman. And that is the line he has told from 1999 to date. So if you look at how he became governor of Rivers State, he was junior minister of education. When Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of the state, was having issue with the then president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, it was like what happened in heaven when God asked, who will go and save my people on earth? And Jesus Christ said, he will go. It was how the FCT minister agreed to go and fight Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi in Rivers State as governor. And he came forward and started the fighting. The fighting made him to become governor. You can also see how he tried to become president of Nigeria. But the APC, the PDP, refused to zone the ticket to the south, and they zoned it to the north, and they gave it to Atiku Abubakar, and he fought against the party to support a certain candidate in the APC, being President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, and Tinubu picked him to compensate him. So he thrives in crisis because in those crises he has his interests well enshrined and articulated. You can see what has even happened with the local government election in Rivers State today. He is trying to prove to you that even when he has control over the entire state in terms of all the local government areas, and would have been able to produce 23 local government chairmen in Rivers State in the PDP. He didn't do that. He pushed them to APC, which is the government where he controls today, and then pushed only 3 local government areas, including his own local government area, to the PDP, so that one leg will be here, one leg will be here. But if you look at what has happened in Rivers State today, you will see a social control that is now running within the system as a result of the influence that he is using to thrive on the system. So that is how the man survives, and that is how he plays politics to become relevant. That is why I see him as the king of Nigerian political system. Today, you cannot talk about politics in Nigeria without talking about, the FCT minister. So he's playing the game properly.
Right.
So you have to look at where your interests can be protected, and then you key in for it to be relevant in politics.
Unlike a state where the president can declare a state of emergency, this is an internal political matter. Now, the PDP governors who are not in weakest camp have warned the weakest camp. If there was going to be some kind of showdown in November, who do you think would win? Weakest camp or the other members of the People's Democratic Party?
I think the other members of the People's Democratic Party are going to win. If there is a showdown at the convention, they are going to win. But that winning will be at their detriment. because the Wike camp they are more vibrant, they are more powerful, and they are good at causing crisis and thriving on the crisis. You can see how the G5 worked against the party interests in the past, and a lot of them contributed to the inability of the PDP to win election in the 2023 regional election. So when they win, after making their interest to thrive, when they come out of the convention, the crisis that the Wike camp is going to give them will make whatever they have done to be irrelevant or ineffective, leading to the easy win and walking of the PDP out of the presidential election in such a way that when they lose, then they work out. Then you see the APC winning outrightly in 2027 because of the crisis that group is going to cause for them. All they need to know is that all of this Wike group and what they are doing, they are trying as much as possible to give them conditionalities that they will not be able to meet as a result of that, causing crisis for them and giving an easy win to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he is benefiting from.
All right, now away from there, let's look at another news story here. Of course, this concerns the tariff war. We're seeing the federal government through NEC asking the discos to respect the state electricity regulators, warning discos to respect the regulators. And this is coming on the back of what we've seen in Enugu, where the regulator, of course, slashed electricity tariffs for Band A consumers. And since then, we've seen this back and forth. NEC still established at the meeting that states should focus on expanding their electricity markets as opposed to relying on federal government subsidies. I mean, that was a direct shade to probably the Enugu regulator who has led the charge on that. So this has been the outset of the clash, the friction we've seen between the discos and the gencos. And of course, the federal government is making that known, the NERC through NERC. What's your take on this stance? Do you think that this is going to solve any problem? How do you think NERC is handling the problem between the regulator and the discos when in itself, as the national regulator, is also somehow blowing the flames of this clash?
Yeah, I think this is a complex matter, I must say, and it's a big national issue because whatever is done addressing the issue that originated from the Enugu, distribution company is going to extend to other gencos and discos across the country. Now, NEC coming into this picture now, it means that we now have a third party that is going to see how they can resolve the issue between the gencos and the discos, and it is important that they sit and discuss. So I believe that this intervention is going to pay off in such a way that although there will not be a comprehensive solution to the problem, but it's going to try as much as it can when they sit to discuss to minimize and reduce some of the crises they are currently facing. So I think it's important this conversation, this meeting takes place, and then the intervention of the NED should also try as much as possible to address this issue so that they can be able to provide electricity for Nigeria, because energy is very important. That is what drives the economy. And a lot of companies that are impacted by this crisis should be able to come out of it because they have the resources, they have the money they are using to pay for the electricity that they consume. So they should be able to get the value for their money. But in as much as this particular crisis continues to linger, it will continue to impact customers and impact the economy. And it may also roll back the benefits and gains that Mr. President is talking about today, that they are generating money locally sufficiently for the country. Because if the country is not powered, then it will be difficult for productivity to go on and for revenue to be raised in for government that will benefit all of us.
Well, this is actually common sense and all that, because when this whole back and forth was going on, it's easy and it's simple and it's solvable. What's the problem? Every state needs to grow and detach themselves from the FG, right? And so when the whole back and forth was going on, I didn't literally understand why. I was thinking maybe because of the money is being owed by the federal government to these distribution companies, by the way. But then again, you need to grow and expand and detach from the FG. Well,
all right, let's look at this one concerning Simon Ekpa. Now, we all know that he has been sentenced, given a sentence in Finland, 6-year sentence. And of course, we're still speculating, wondering if the federal government would want him to be repatriated and, of course, probably charged here in Nigerian court as well. I would like to gain your initial reaction, Dr. Fyneface, to this conviction and sentencing of Simon Ekpa for, well, of course, matters around terrorism-related charges. And tax evasion, tax fraud as well.
Fraud, yeah.
Well, I think it is something that we do say that if you want to kill a dog, you just give a dog a name and kill the dog by that name. That is what has happened here. We know that what Simon Ekpa is doing is similar to what Nnamdi Kanu is doing, and for which we have voted. And this particular conviction in Finland is something that I think is, surprising to many people. But then he is said to have been found guilty of, tax evasion, and then acts of terrorism and all of that. So I think it's a challenging time for indigenous struggle around the world, not only in Nigeria. But then I believe that some of these are something that with time, those involved in it will come out of it. There is a tendency that Nigeria may want to request from Finland that he should be repatriated to Nigeria to start his J term in Nigeria. And if that happens, I can assure you that before the completion of the 6-year J term that he has been handed down, new and fresh charges will be filed against him. That will also lead to his rearrangement in Nigerian courts.
Yes.
And reincarceration.
Do you see Simon Ekpa being in prison for a long, long time as a result of this, the fallout of this particular arrest and sentencing? Do you see like more charges coming up, keeping him there for much longer?
Yeah, the Nigerian system is different from the Finland system. If you were to be in the Nigerian system, I would have seen that happening there, whereby after being convicted for 6 years, maybe while still in prison or shortly after he comes out of prison, more charges will come up. The possibility is there. But it will have happened more in Nigeria than in Finland. So I think at the end of the 6-year J term, if there are other crimes that he's allegedly accused of, then they may want to file against him again, try him again, and maybe reconvict him. But as we speak, we know that Simon Ekpa is a Finland citizen. He's a citizen of that country. And as a citizen of that country, they may not want to overpunish him over a crime that he committed across international boundaries and borders. So whatever it is that may be some other crime for which he was not tried at this point in time, if within the 6 years that he will spend in prison, they found out that, okay, he also committed it, we did it, then that may happen. But it's likely not going to happen in Finland the way I believe it would have happened in Nigeria.
That's right.
If he were to be that it was in Nigeria that he was convicted.
Before we let you go, let's talk about 2027 and INEC. Now we're seeing other statistics here on the Punch, top left corner. Again, Southwest tops as voter pre-registration hits 2.5 million. Now, recall the shocking statistics revealed that showed the Southeast states not doing so well with the online registrations. And of course, we're still seeing those kind of figures as revealed by INEC. Factors contributing, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think factors that contribute to this is that the Southwest, they are conscious more in politics. They understand the role they play. They understand also that the president of the country today is from that angle, and they have to register to vote so that they can give vote to their man. So the Southeast should also have a very serious thought here. So the politicians in this area should sensitize the people, let the people understand the need for them to get their PVCs. INEC today is giving some of these statistics of people that are coming out to register to vote. Now they are behaving and claiming to be democratic and independent in their action. But when it is time for election, you will not see them demonstrate that through the ballot box. So I think they need to, sensitize the people. Even INEC is supposed to go beyond releasing of statements to running jingles on radio, TV, across the country, and even in languages. So let those who are at the age of 18 go and get registered. All of these are happening. You can also see what the NIN and NIMC is doing. They are also not really carrying out a kind of advert to sensitize the people on the need for them to have their national ID card. And today, Nigerians are paying between 10,000 and 15,000 naira, 5,000, 7,000 in some places before you can have national ID card that was supposed to be issued free. Don't also be surprised that in some parts of the country where we have higher enrollment, that their politicians are even incentivizing the people that are doing this to ensure that they register their people to have the PVC. So other parts of the country should not wait on INEC to sensitize. Politicians within those areas, opinion leaders should talk to the people to get their PVC. It is important that they come out and exercise their franchise during the election in 2027, which is the major election that is coming up.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Fyneface, for joining the show this morning, and wish you a good morning ahead. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, we're going to a quick break now. When the morning show returns, we'll look at what Ndienugu are saying about the ongoing INEC pre-registration exercise. Perhaps they'll tell us how much they trust INEC after what they saw in 2023. The morning show returns shortly. Please stay with us.